So things are heating up as the NBA is trying to get a brand new TV deal, and right now they're in an exclusive negotiating window with Warner Brothers, who basically own TNT, and also Disney, which of course is ESPN. But during this exclusive negotiating window, a lot of things started coming to the forefront, and the timing of these things are very interesting. For one, Amazon came out of nowhere and bailed out Diamond Sports, who basically owned the local TV rights to about 15 NBA teams. Amazon's trying to come in, throw money at the RSNs, not only to bail them out of their financial troubles, but they also want to just invest millions into the company going forward. And they also want them to get rid of the Bally's logo or whatever logo they have during the sports broadcast and actually stream their stuff on Prime Video. So they sort of kind of in a way backdoored the NBA and are dealing directly with Diamond Sports in the bankruptcy courts, which could result in Amazon pretty much getting a deal with the NBA without getting a deal with the NBA. It solves one problem for the league, in which they're dealing with fans with blackouts, but on the other hand, they were using Amazon as leverage coming into the negotiating table with TNT and with ESPN to get more money. But all these things are pending in the bankruptcy court, and while all this is going on, another timely announcement of all ESPN properties going forward next fall, along with the Big Ten Network, TNT, TBS, and other properties of Discovery and Disney are going to actually team up and launch their own streaming service. Once again, the NBA was expecting to come to the negotiating table to not only leverage Amazon, other streaming companies like Apple or perhaps Netflix to get more money, but they were also going to have these other networks bid on each other. And now a lot of them are collaborating to launch their own streaming service, along with ESPN making the announcement that they're going to have their own direct-to-consumer streaming service in 2025. So things are getting very interesting as it's looking like ESPN, TNT, and Fox Sports are all collaborating in order to solve the issue of sports fans having to subscribe to so many different streaming networks. They're sort of collaborating, and a lot of consolidation is definitely needed in the streaming industry, because right now this is way too many services. People are stretched thin. There's way too many things to subscribe to, and there's not enough time to watch all these things. But this is a game changer. Now there will be a way for sports fans to access a lot of these major sports networks without going through an entertainment package through cable. And it is also an acknowledgement that the media business and the media landscape overall is just changing. And just the days of sports rights being inflated and this huge bubble that's been going on these past couple years, I believe this is going to be the last time these prices will be negotiated not towards actual demand. You see, the thing about streaming and going direct to consumer, you could actually see what your real demand is instead of hiding behind the old business model and the business of bundling through cable. We've seen this happen with CNN, where in cable, of course, they're doing their thing, they're making money, they're running ads, but when they try to get outside of that box and see what their real demand is when they went direct to consumer with their app, it pretty much completely fell off, and they had to cut it off financially after just 1 month. So basically, they're just a legacy channel with no real demand outside of their initial core that was acquired in the early days of cable. So with major properties like ESPN, NBC, Peacock, we're seeing all these brand new streaming services. A lot of these legacy media channels are now going to start to see their real demand when they go direct to consumer. And if the demand isn't there going forward, it's going to be hard to offer the NBA, the NFL. Well, the NFL right now, they're winning. They're going to have to offer them money. But the NHL and other sports leagues that kind of benefited off of the bundle packages. This is where things kind of get real interesting going forward, just looking ahead, where these sports leagues outside of the NFL are going to have to actually have some real demand. And the money they're going to get offered, it's going to be dependent on how much these legacy networks are actually making off of direct to consumer. It's not going to be the old, we're going to give you multiple billions just because we can charge people through a cable bundle that's not even watching ESPN an extra $40 a month. Those days of free, easy money are over. But the CEO of Walt Disney, Bob Iger, had a few statements in regarding the situation.
The launch of this new streaming sports service is a significant moment for Disney and ESPN, a major win for sports fans and an important step forward for the media business. This means the full suite of ESPN channels will be available to consumers alongside the sports programming of other industry leaders as part of a differentiated sports-centric service. I'm grateful to Jimmy Pitaro and the team at ESPN, who are at the forefront of innovating on behalf of consumers to create new offerings with more choice and greater value.
This is definitely a major step forward for the sports media landscape, because now they're going to untether themselves to those cable bundle packages, which in a way frees them from offering these sports entities inflated prices for rights to broadcast them. But the CEO of Warner Brothers also expressed his gratitude on moving forward as the landscape continues to shift.
At Warner Brothers Discovery, our ambition is always to connect our leading content and brands with as many viewers as possible, and this exciting joint venture and the unparalleled combination of marquee sports rights and access to the greatest sporting events in the world allows us to do just that. This new sports service exemplifies our ability as an industry to drive innovation and provide consumers with more choice, enjoyment, and value, and we're thrilled to deliver it to sports fans.
Now, with Fox Sports, ESPN, Turner, and the Big Ten Network actually collaborating, it leaves you to wonder if this consolidation in a way kind of gives each company a floor to hit, because in a way now, let's say if ESPN somehow lost the broadcasting rights to the NBA, would they benefit if Turner actually was the sole bidder and acquired the full NBA sports rights? Because now in a way they're in business, they would be bundled up with Turner regardless, which gives them a monthly reoccurring revenue of how much, who knows, they're going to charge. It could be $40-50 a month, but in a way this could possibly stop these major legacy networks from outbidding each other to acquire the NBA, the NHL, etc. But there is a double-edged sword to this, because on the consumer side, yeah, it's nice to finally have most of our sports networks, especially on a national level, not on a local level, but on a national level, to be able to watch TNT games, Fox Sports games, maybe a couple international soccer matches, the Big Ten Network. But when you still look at the fact that these sports packages cover a lot, but not everything, that means the consumer still has to go out and purchase other streaming services. So when those things start to bundle up, it's going to add up to more than $72. And if it comes around that price point, they might as well go grab something that kind of bundles up everything all at once, like YouTube TV that gives them access to NBA and NFL. So we'll see what they set the price point at, because it can't be too expensive with everything not really covered on the consumer side. All their needs are not fully met. But going back to this consolidation, all the networks, even though they're going to be working as a team on one side, they're still going to be bidding for these sports rights as individual companies. And it's still early on all this, but it looks like them collaborating, it just gives them a nice little floor in case one entity is doing worse than the other. At least they took the bundling business model from cable and they applied it to a direct-to-consumer product as almost a floor. Well, like I said before, they still will be operating and bidding on sports rights as individual companies still. And for those of you watching the video version, as you can see, the NFL has the most partners. They have YouTube, Fox, NBC, CBS, ESPN, and Amazon. And the NBA right now only has ESPN and TNT. So this consolidation in a way helps the NBA out, because they don't have to worry about their fans running to find where the games are. If it's on Amazon or if it's on this streaming service and that streaming service, the consolidation helps them out on that end. But as you can see, they only have two partners, and two of those partners are the ones that are going to be collaborating now. See, this is where I say things get interesting with the timing of these announcements. Like I said earlier in the segment, right now, ESPN and TNT is in an exclusive negotiating window with the NBA. They get first dibs on trying to construct a new TV deal with the league. So in the middle of that window, now we're seeing that they're going to collaborate, even though they're two different entities. And also at the same time, Amazon Prime, which the NBA was trying to leverage against ABC and TNT, they sort of in a way backdoored the NBA and try to bail out their local TV networks that covered about 15 NBA teams. They're trying to bail out Bally's and at the same time have those 15 teams be streamed on Amazon Prime Video. And they're going through all this through the bankruptcy courts. so they don't really necessarily have to deal with the NBA. The bankruptcy court and judge is going to do what's best to get Diamond Sports caught up with all their creditors. And Amazon might be one of the best solutions to make that happen. But the NBA does have an ace in their pocket, in which during the bankruptcy with Diamond Sports, they were able to renegotiate having all those local teams that they had on there. The NBA is going to get their rights right back. So the league does have a little bit of leverage on that. But going back to this chart here, we see MLB. They have 4 partners: Fox, TBS, ESPN, and Apple. So once again, with the consolidation, ESPN, TBS, and Fox will be on their own streaming network starting in the fall of 2024. And in 2025, ESPN will launch their own streaming service. So the NHL is looking like they're going to lose some leverage also, as just like the NBA, ESPN and TNT are their only partners. So for those of you watching the video version, as you can see, the Big Ten actually has deals with Paramount, aka CBS, Peacock, which is NBC, and also they're going to be visible on that consolidation streaming service between ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers. So these are definitely interesting times. I expect the NBA to still get a large TV deal for the current negotiations. They're probably going to add a couple of new partners. Who knows? Maybe Netflix, maybe Apple might hop in last minute, which I don't really expect them to. Or who knows? Maybe Amazon might buy a few exclusive play-in games or in-season tournament games. They can throw the NBA one of those deals that they gave the NFL for their wildcard games. But this move by the local networks is definitely an acknowledgement that the media business model has definitely changed in the days of free, easy money through the bundling packages, which got ESPN a boatload of money, and they were able to buy sports rights to the NFL and NBA for large amounts of money. Those days are pretty much coming to an end. And now on the streaming side, after these current TV deals get done, there's going to have to be a proof of concept. There's going to have to be a real demand for these products. The days of the NBA having load management, guys sitting out without a care in the world, that could happen because back in those times, the NBA was eating well off of the ESPN subscription model through cable. Now that those days are over, they're actually going to have to put a good product on the floor. The NFL right now is pretty much king. Their product has proof of concept. Even through exclusive streaming deals, they're still hitting things out the ballpark with their wildcard games being the most streamed live event ever. Things keep going up and up for the NFL, so they definitely have proof of concept. And for the next TV negotiating deal, which could be 8 to 10 years out, if the NBA does not improve their product, I doubt the direct-to-consumer business model is going to work well with them continuing to receive billions of dollars annually. That's going to make it a really tough sell, and there's going to be a lot of competition. There might have to be more consolidation. As the NBA has League Pass, ESPN is going to be doing their own service along with bundling up their services with other companies. And then some of those companies like Peacock, Amazon, Paramount, Netflix, there's going to be way too many subscriptions. At some point, there's going to have to be more consolidation in the sports media landscape. But we'll see how ESPN rolls out their own streaming service in 2025. And this is where the NBA does have leverage to get a lot of money out of ESPN and Disney, because they're definitely going to need a lot of programming in order to launch that streaming network. But this is definitely a step in the right direction, because your grandma should be paying an extra $40, $50 on her cable bill just to have ESPN when we all know she doesn't watch it. That was the easy money that ESPN was eating off of, and thus the other sports leagues were also eating off that money. So it is what it is.